gentle readers, welcome to my channel. And it's spring in New Zealand. The flowers are blossoming everywhere. I know for most of you it's autumn now, but for us it's the most beautiful time of the year when everything is just amazing and beautiful and incredible outside. And Netflix just recently revealed the actress who will play Sophie in the next season of Bridgerton. So I've decided to make a video about Bridgerton books and also other books that you would like. If you like Bridgerton TV show, and maybe if you read some of the Bridgerton books, I will talk about them as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I have some books that I will use for creating some beautiful sounds, such as book tapping, of course. And also I have picked up some flowers and I have put them in this box. I'll show you later, okay? Because I wanted to begin with Bridgerton books. I have some notes here. Okay. So I hope you liked season 3 of Bridgerton about Colin and Penelope. And actually, I usually read my books on Kindle, and I take the paper ones in the library, but I couldn't find most of the books actually. So I'll use some of the books and I'll show you some flowers. And I actually found this book. This book is the book about Penelope and Colin. It is different from the show. I read it. This is Julia Quinn. She is the author behind Bridgerton, and she wrote the whole series, and she also has some other nice series that I will talk about. Okay, so this book is called Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. As I said, it is different from the story in the book is different from TV show story, but it's still also good. And it's, well, I read 4 or 5 books from the Bridgerton series, and this one was one of my favorites. But the 4th season will be about Benedict and Sophie, and actually in series it's book number 3. Benedict is my favorite brother from the Bridgerton family, so I'm very excited for the new season. And Sophie, the actress who's going to play Sophie, is very pretty, so yeah, I'm definitely excited. So of course, if you like Bridgerton, the TV show, you will definitely enjoy the books from this series. Of course, you can start with The Duke and I, the very first book. Then it goes The Viscount Who Loved Me. Then about Anthony and Kate. Then An Offer from a Gentleman. This book is about Benedict and Sophie. Then Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, about Colin and Penelope. And then it goes to Sir Philip with Love. I think this book is about Eloise. When he was wicked, it's about Francesca. It's in His Kiss. I think, no, On the Way to the Wedding. This is the last book about Gregory. And who goes? Hyacinth. How do you say it right? Hyacinth. So it's in His Kiss. This is the book about her. That's her love story. So, yeah. So there are many books to read, and they're all pretty good. So I think you should definitely try it. So Julia Quinn, this is her pen name. Her real name is Julie Pottinger. She's an American author. She writes Regency romance or historical romance, and she has some other series. For example, Roxby's about Smith family. And she wrote another series. There are only 2 books in the series. It's called Two Dukes of Wingham. And I wrote the first book from the series, and I think it's pretty funny. It's called The Last Duke of Windham. Yeah, and I liked this book. And I think it's a little bit different from the Bridgerton series, but it's different because I think it's a little bit funnier, but I don't know. And also, look what I found in the library. Another book that you will enjoy if you like the TV show. It's a book about Queen Charlotte. It was not written by Julia Quinn before the TV show. It was published after the show was released. I mean, this show about Queen Charlotte. And as you can see, it's written both by Julia Quinn and Shonda Rhimes. Shonda Rhimes is person behind Bridgerton, a show. She is a creator, producer, and author, and she is the owner or the CEO of Shondaland, and I think she's an owner of Shondaland, and yeah, she's an amazing woman. And so they created this story. And I also liked it, actually. It's very... I think it's sad. You know, I know it's... it's about love, but I thought it was quite sad. And it shows different love. And also, it shows that love doesn't always have a happy ending. I think it's both, it's relevant both for Queen Charlotte and for Agatha, her best friend. Her name is Agatha. Yeah, I forgot her. Agatha Danbury. Because if you remember in the show, there is also her story. Anyway, I would love to read this book, actually. I'm thinking about reading it next, after I finish The Cruel Prince, which is not a historical romance. It's a fantasy romance book. Just fantasy, young adult. Anyway, I'm reading The Cruel Prince now. I think I'm quite late with it because it's not, well, it was quite popular some time ago, and now I'm sort of late with it, but I wanted to read it, and I was thinking about making an ASMR book club video about The Cruel Prince, so it's coming. Right, okay, next author that I would recommend, and I love her books, historical romance books. Her name is Lisa Kleypas. She's an American author, and she also writes historical romance and contemporary romance. And my favorite series is called Wallflowers. It's just the best. I like it so much. I've read it twice, and I'm thinking of rereading it again. So in this series there are 4 books, and there are 4 characters, 4 girls. They are wallflowers, and they each of them has a different love story, and it's just, I don't know, it's beautiful. I just love those stories. I don't know why these stories, but they're really good. So the books are Secrets of a Summer Night, It Happened One Autumn, Devil in Winter, and Scandal in Spring. And there are 4 girls: Annabelle, Lillian, Evie, and Daisy. There are also 2 books about other characters in the series, not main characters, but I haven't read those books yet. I think they're also good. Again, The Magic and A Wallflower Christmas. But I would like to read them too. The stories are beautiful, interesting, intriguing, funny, and I don't know, maybe I just felt like those stories were more relatable. Like those characters and stories for me were relatable in some way more than other historical romance books that I've read. I think I liked, for example, Bridgerton series books and other historical romance books, but here I just enjoyed this story so much and I read them really fast. And while talking about those books, let me open this beautiful box that I have here. This box that I have reminds me of the times of Regency times, Regency era. So I thought I can use this box. It makes really nice noises. And I have some flowers here because it's, as I said, it's spring in New Zealand. Look at this beautiful flower. And there's so many flowers outside blossoming. You saw some of them in the beginning of this video. I mean, it's killing people, not killing, but it's really bad for people with hay fever, and I also have hay fever, but it usually comes in December. I know it's a little bit confusing, but yeah, for me it was confusing for me too, but December it's summer in December, so, and the grass is growing, the flowers are everywhere, and hay fever is the worst. But now I don't have it yet, so I'm enjoying the views. These flowers are all from my backyard. I'll show you the rest after I'll talk about some other books. Okay. Okay, other series by Lisa Kleypas that I've read is called The Hathaways. I read Mine Till Midnight and Seduce Me at Sunrise, the first two books. It's also pretty good. It's not as good as Wallflowers, but it's also really nice to read. And there is another series, The Ravenels, that I would love to read. And also there is a series called The Ravenels Meet the Wallflowers. And I think it's really, really exciting. I would love to read. Also, I've been wandering on Lisa Kleypas' Instagram page, and I saw, so there is a book in the Ravenel series called Chasing Cassandra. It's, I think, the last book that was published from this series, and the love interest, the main male character, she posted the picture of Matthew Good. He's an actor and he's so handsome and good looking, and he's just, you know, he's like the best English gentleman you would imagine. Like he's just, I think I would imagine him for every English gentleman character there is. He played in Downton Abbey. He played in The Crown. He was a photographer who was... Princess Margaret fell in love with him. They had some kind of... and yeah, I saw him in different movies, and I love him. He's great. He also one of the hosts of the wine show about the wine, about I think it's on Prime. Yeah, it's a really nice show about wine regions and this kind of stuff, and he's one of the hosts, and he's so funny, he's so sophisticated, he's just... And she said, Lisa Kleypas said on her Instagram page that for Chasing Cassandra main male character, she was imagining Matthew Good playing this character. So this is just a fun fact. Okay, and there are of course some other authors. For example, Sarah McLean. She's also an American author. She writes young adult and romance novels, and she became famous as a writer with her debut novel that is called 9 Rules to Break When Romancing a Rake. This book is from the series Love by Numbers, and I love this book. It's so funny and interesting, and it's really spicy. I didn't expect it to be that spicy actually, but it's fun, and it's... Yeah, I just loved the love story. It was really easy to read, and there are 2 more books in this series. 10 Ways to be Adored When Landing a Lord, and 11 Scandals to Start to Win a Duke's Heart. I know the titles are pretty long. So yeah, I would like to read the other 2 books from the series. It's about other characters that are about other girls from the first book. There are 2 other characters, and they are love stories. So yeah, so Sarah McLean, another author you would like. And let me show you the flower before I continue. Another little flower. I hope they make some noise. Can you hear anything? Anyway, they're just beautiful. Oh, I think my hay fever is very near, because now there's so much smell here. They're really, really fragrant, and I can feel it. Oh, and let me show you the beautiful leaf. We also have lemons in our backyard, but it is not their season. They grow in winter in here, and winter here is in June, July and August. So we are really excited because winter is finally over. It was pretty cold, so now we can't wait for the summer to come. Okay, and another I think this one is not very fresh because I picked it up yesterday. I think I should have put it in the water. But look at this. These are green flowers from the tree. You saw this tree and it's huge in the beginning of this video as well. The tree is huge and it's so beautiful. And look at this. I love nature. I think nature is the best, like walking somewhere in the forest or in the park, on the beach, spending some time on the beach. I think it's the best way for me to relax. Every time that I feel stressed or overwhelmed, especially because I have 2 kids under 5, and as much as I love them, they are very loud and they need a lot of attention, and you constantly need to do a lot of things. And if I want to relax, if I want to just breathe in, breathe out, for me the best way to do it is to go for a walk. And every time, if I get really stressed, if I just go for a walk even for 15 minutes, it's the best. Okay, the next author is Anne Gracie. She's an Australian author, and I am at the moment, besides The Cruel Prince, I'm also reading The Perfect Rake, because I like sometimes to read several books at the same time usually. So this series is called The Married Sisters, and it's about sisters, and every book in the series is about one of the sisters, about their love story. So yeah, and I was actually surprised to see that she's an Australian author. So I like The Perfect Rake. It's also quite funny and easy to read, so I would recommend her books as well. And also I wanted to mention 2 authors. So the books that I've talked about before, they are more like, of course they're historical romance, but they are for the contemporary audience. In they have quite a lot of spice. Some of them have more, some of them have less, but it's still quite spicy. And if you want to read, like Bridgerton, if you want to read something more classic, like Jane Austen, for example, and this is the author that I would recommend, like if you like Bridgerton, but you're okay with something less spicy, but you just enjoy like the banter between the characters, the love story, the stories of different characters. If you just enjoy historical romance overall, of course you would enjoy Jane Austen. And I think, like, if you're into this genre, you've probably read all the books already, like Pride and Prejudice, Emma, and yeah, I don't remember all the books, but I've read them. I'm not sure if I read them all, or maybe, but I wanted actually to read them again. And another classic historical romance writer, she is still alive. She's not like Jane Austen from those times. She is quite old already. She's 80 years old at the moment. She is a Welsh Canadian writer. Well, she lives in Canada, but originally from Wales. And there's no spice in her books. They're more classic, as I said, but they're really nice. And of course, they're a little bit of kiss anyway, and you know, they're very romantic. There is one series that is written by her. Or did I mention her name? Her name is Mary Barlow. Oh my god, I haven't checked the right pronunciation. I'm really sorry. I'll show you the book. I have a book by her. I do apologize for not checking the right pronunciation of her last name. So here's Grace Burrows and Mary Barlow. Shame on me. And so yeah, her books are really nice and romantic. I read the story in Another Dream. So this book in particular, it has two stories that are written by different writers. Also Grace Burrows, I think you can check her out as well. So I think they did it. It's a Regency novella duet. They wrote this book together. So both stories happen on the same event. So Mary Barlow and Grace Burrows team up to create a pair of Regency novellas, each set at a summer house party. So yeah, they wrote two stories at the same party. It happened at the same party. So, which is fun. Can you imagine, like, if you're a writer and you find and you collaborate with another writer and you write stories about characters that spend some time at the same party. It's fun. So Once Upon a Dream, and there are two novellas. One is In Another Dream and the other one is In the Duke of My Dreams. And they're both pretty good, romantic, interesting, funny, all the best features of the historical romance. Okay, I think this is it. I showed you all the flowers in my box. I showed you all my books that I have, only 3. Thank you for watching my video. I love to read and I love to talk about books, and I have a lot of bookish videos on my channel, and I plan to do a lot more. And you know, it's not only about historical romance or fantasy or sci-fi. I read different books. It's just I have, you know, like periods in my life where I read different kinds of books. Before, of course, when I was a child, I liked fantasy, sort of, Harry Potter, Mary Poppins, this kind of stuff. Then I was into romance. I read Jane Austen and some other books, and I read a lot of classic books. I love classic books, and I have a video about Russian classic books that I love. You can find it on my channel. And not only Russian classic, but also French or English classic books. So maybe 5 years ago, I tried to read fantasy, and I fell in love with fantasy, and I have been reading fantasy mostly recently, and sometimes I read historical romance at the moment. I tried contemporary novels, like easy, like romance books, or something more serious like Little Life. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good day or night, and I hope you are already sleeping.